Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The source of this information come from the Smart Device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and today is Tuesday, also known as Tuesday, October 25th, 2022. Anyway, moving on into the actual history of the day. On this date, in 625, Boniface V ended his reign as Catholic Pope. Well, alright then. Is the music even playing? Yeah, it is. I don't hear it on my end, but I hope you can hear it on yours, at least a little bit. Moving on up into 1415, Battle of Agincourt. Henry V's forces defeated larger French army, and the longbow defeated the armored knight. Ah, yes. The longbow. Devastating. So. In 1521, Emperor Charles V banned wooden buildings in Amsterdam. Huh. I guess because of the wet weather and the wet lands and the wood rot and all that stuff. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Let me look this up actually, just because this is on my mind. Let's see here. After decades of issuing bylaws without much effect, the city of Amsterdam was supported by Charles V's Imperial Decree 1521, which stated that wooden houses had to be demolished and replaced by stone ones. So, I guess this is I guess they rebuilt the whole city. So they demolished stuff and then, rebuilt it. I'm going to post this link into the underbar, the description, if you would like to read further on this. Let's see here. Oh, it was destroyed by fire. Well, that explains it as well. Alright, so there you go. Let's see here. Moving on up into 1577, Pope Gregory the 13th, asked a renewal of encyclical hymns, or ecclesiastical hymns. A renewal of those. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. Then in the year 1616, Dutch East India Company ship the Endracht discovered Dirk Hartong Island in Australia. Well, that's cool. So, got another historic event here in 1716. George III became king of George III became king of Great Britain. Okay, well, yeah, we all know what happened about 15 years after that. 16 years actually. 1760 to 1776. He did not do a good job. But 20 years later, in 1780, John Hancock became the first governor of Massachusetts. Well, look at that. Pardon me, my nose is doing its thing again. So, hold on a second. Live chat. Mo the Great, very questionable man. Very questionable. What's questionable? Let's see here. 1854, the infamous charge of the Light Brigade during the Battle of Balaclava in the Crimean War resulted in over 100 killed. Dang. So, whenever I hear about the Light Brigade, I think about the Gallipoli campaign, Australia's, contribution during the First World War. But no, the Light Brigade's been around for a lot longer than that, even before guns and everything. So. I gotta learn more about this charge of the Light Brigade. That sounds interesting. Yeah, George III. Yeah, no, within 16 years, he totally screwed everybody. A poem about that? Yeah, I've heard about that poem. Anyway, 1875, the first performance of the Piano Concerto No. 1 by Piotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky was given in Boston, Massachusetts, with Hans von Bülow as soloist. Well, that's pretty cool. I gotta listen to more classical music and such. Haven't heard a concerto in a while. Let's see here. One decade later, in 1885, Johannes Brahms conducted the premiere of his Fourth Symphony in E, Op. 98 in Meiningen, Germany. Alright. We got a theater premiere, so more arts stuff. 1902, Maxim Gorsky's play The Lower Depths premiered in Moscow. Alright. 1906, Georges Clemenceau succeeded Ferdinand Mazarin as Prime Minister of France. Okay. Huh. Mustache. Like this guy, he doesn't look that French, but okay. Well, I don't know what French people look like other than just another type of white person, but anyway, 3 years later, 1909, Australasian Championships men's tennis in Perth, Anthony Wilding of New Zealand won his second Australasian title, defeating Ernie Parker of Australia 6-1, 7-5, 6-2. In 1923, Senate committee published first report on the Teapot Dome scandal, what is the Teapot Dome scandal? I think I may have looked that up. I have. Let's see here. The Teapot Dome scandal was a bribery scandal involving the administration of United States President Warren G. Harding from 1921 to 1923. So, yeah, they've been going after presidents since a long time, so all this stuff against Trump is nothing really new, although it's a lot more, like, politically motivated and aggressive. So, but yeah. I posted the link to this wiki in the underbar if anybody would like to read a little bit more about that, because that is an interesting thing. In 1929, former Interior Secretary Albert B. Fall was convicted of accepting a $100,000 bribe in the Teapot scandal, the first U.S. cabinet member to go to jail. So that's 6 years later, they finally got somebody. Yeah. Misdemeanors, to put it lightly, Mr. Mo. We got a historic event here in 1932. Benito Mussolini promised to remain dictator for 30 years. And he only made it for about a third of that, until 1944. So about 12 years. So almost half. Just 3 years shy of half. In 1937, Casey Stengel signed to manage the Boston Bees. Huh. I wonder if that stung. 1941, Winston Churchill routed forces south to Southeast Asia. Huh. Okay. I guess, that's right. The British Raj, the Indians, were fighting against the Japanese down there because Japan was really expanding to Helengon. Let's see here. 1 year later, 1942, Field Marshal Rommel was back. Rommel was back in North Africa. The Desert Fox. Yep. The yin to Patton's yang, if that makes any sense. 1945, Japanese surrendered Taiwan to General Chiang Kai-shek. Good. Yep. And Chinese military and political leader. Huh. Okay, well, this brings up an eyebrow. So this would mean that Taiwan was part of China, but I don't know. I don't know how politics work in war and all that stuff. But Japan surrendered Taiwan, and this is not the CCP. This is the original Chinese government and whatnot that fled to Taiwan. I'm going to have to brush up on my history. This imposes a lot of questions. 1947, Bradman scored 156 for South Australia versus India, 152 mins, 22 fours. Whatever that means. 1950, Jean Anouilh's play La Répétition à la Mare premiered in Paris at the Theatre Marigny. I know I botched the hell out of that, but trying to sound fancy. Anyway, we got in 1953, Cleveland Browns QB, or quarterback, Otto Graham set club record with 4 fumbles. Uh-oh. Fumbles are not good. Reminds me of that Robot Chicken, Fumbles. Also in that same time, 1953, Dmitri Shostakovich completed his 10th symphony. Well, alright. We got some more sports history here. 2 years later, 1955, Branch Rickey stepped down as general manager of the Pirates. Okay. We got a murder of interest in 1957. Costa Nostra crime boss Albert Anastasia was murdered in a barber's chair in New York City, probably by fellow mobster Joe Gallo. Dang. People are getting murdered getting haircuts out there. That's insane. Ooh, this is interesting. I just Now, hold on a second. My eyes are just wandering. Now, in 1960, the first electronic wristwatch placed on sale in New York City. Well, that's pretty cool. And then 2 years later, in 1962, the first Belgian nuclear reactor begins operation. I did not know Belgium was a nuclear country. And also in 1962, U.S. author John Steinbeck was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. Good. So one of the most acclaimed authors of all time, John Steinbeck, I believe. Also in 1962, U.S. Ambassador to the UN Adlai Stevenson demanded USSR UN Rep Valerian Zorin answer regarding Cuban missile basis, saying, quote, "I am prepared to wait for my answer until hell freezes over," end quote. So that just means that you are not into action. You just want to wait until you get an answer, and the answer might be a bomb. So you got to be action. You got to be proactive, not reactive. 1964, English driver John Surtees finished second behind U.S. Dan Gurney in season-ending Mexican Grand Prix at Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez to clinch his first F1 World Drivers' Championship, edging Graham Hill by 1 point. That is close. Also at that same time, 1964, the Rolling Stones made their first appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show. They performed a cover of Chuck Berry's Around and Around and their own hit Time Is On My Side. Well, alright. In music concert, more music here. 1966, Jimi Hendrix Experience played their first UK gig as a private showcase at the Scotch of St. James in London. That must have been a pretty cool show. 1968, Yoko Ono announced she is having John Lennon's baby, later suffering a miscarriage. Well, I'm not going to talk for Sohan, but I'm pretty sure he'd be like, good, we don't need any more of her in this world. And literally, all she does is just scream random noises in music. Like, watch yesterday's TDH. We were talking about, or he brought up, like, during one of the concerts, the stagehand cut her mic because she was literally just, like, making noises into the mic in the middle of a song. And she thought that was art somehow. I don't know. Anyway, 1972, Eddie Merckx of Belgium covered 30 miles, 1,258 yards in 1 hour. Okay. Well, that's pretty fast. 30 miles, and actually, no. No, 30 miles an hour. What? Oh, he's a bicyclist. Okay, well, that's really fast. Okay, so he's zipping around at 30 miles an hour on a bicycle? Holy crap. 1973, San Francisco Giants traded Willie McCovey to San Diego Padres for pitcher Mike Caldwell. Alright. We got some more music history. In 1975, Columbia Records released Still Crazy After All These Years, the fourth studio album by U.S. singer-songwriter Paul Simon. It features the title track and the hits 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover and My Little Town, also winning 2 Grammy Awards. It's a cool fedora he has, although it looks a little mushed and off shape. Looks like somebody slept on it. Looks like he slept with it on. Anyway, 1978, Halloween, directed by John Carpenter, starring Donald Pleasance and Jamie Lee Curtis in her film debut, was released. Yes. This is the one with Michael Myers, I believe, right? Yeah. Hold on a second. Halloween movie. Yeah, okay. Michael Myers, but why is it showing the Scream mask? That's not Michael Myers. Michael Myers has a shaven, like the mask is actually a mask of what was his name? The guy from Star Trek. Hold on, damn it. Star Trek Captain Kirk. James Kirk. Star Trek. Kirk actor. William Shatner. Why can't I remember that? Yeah, no, it's William Shatner mask. Halloween. The Halloween mask is actually William Shatner's mask. See, they just painted it. They cut the eye holes a little bit bigger, and they just painted it white. But it's William Shatner. So He's in movies without even actually being physically there. That's pretty cool. In 1980, Barbra Streisand's Guilty album went to number one for 3 weeks, and her single Woman in Love went to number one for 3 weeks as well. Alright. Also in 1980, Mike Weaver knocks out Gary Coetzee in 13 for heavyweight boxing title. Dang. I would not want to fight that. So, no. 1981, George Steinbrenner scuffled with 2 fans in a hotel elevator. This guy again. He always has a face of shock. But, dang. So you have the manager fighting fans. That's not good PR right there. 1981 as well, New York City Marathon defending champion Alberto Salazar retained crown in 2 hours 8 minutes and 13 seconds. Alison Rowe of New Zealand took out women's race in 2 hours 25 minutes 29 seconds. Well, all right. Why are we only getting the guy though? Like, I want information on Alison Rowe. Give me information on Alison Rowe. 1985, Angels announced that they will not offer Rod Carew a new contract. I wonder why. And then I'm now hearing the music. It might be a little loud on your end, so I think I just gotta keep it at 20. 1990, Evander Holyfield knocks out Buster Douglas in 3 for heavyweight boxing title. Yep. Got another album released in 1994. A lot of music history today. Reprise Records released Turbulent Indigo, Canadian singer-songwriter Joni Mitchell's 15th studio album, later to win the Grammy Award for Best Pop Album. Well, alright. Knighthood. Okay, 1995, British pop rock singer Cliff Richard received his knighthood from Queen Elizabeth II, the first rock star to be knighted. That's cool. Because I know he wasn't the only one. Jumping up into 2004, the father of Justin Trudeau, Fidel Castro, Cuba's president, announced that transactions using the US dollar will be banned by November 8th. That's not a smart move right there. Another album release, 2010, Speak Now, the 3rd studio album by Taylor Swift, was released, later to receive the Billboard Album of the Year 2011. 2015, British Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton won US F1 Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas to clinch his 2nd consecutive World Drivers' Championship. Well, alright. And it looks like you can drive your hat too. Looks like a steering wheel. Got a historic event here in 2017. Winnie the Pooh here. Chinese Premier Xi Jinping unveiled his new ruling council in the Great Hall of the People. None of the 5 are young enough to succeed him. What a surprise. In 2020, just 2 years ago, Chile overwhelmingly voted to scrap their constitution, drafted during dictatorship of General Augusto Pinochet. Good. They need a new constitution then. Pinochet was not a good guy. 2020 as well, Pope Francis announced an appointment of 13 new cardinals, including the first black U.S. citizen cardinal, Wilton Daniel Gregory. Well, good on you. Awesome. Took all this time until 2020. Wow. I'm surprised John Paul II didn't do it first. Huh. And just last year, in 2021, Elon Musk made a record $25 billion in one day, pushing its estimated worth to $255.2 billion, likely making him the richest person ever, according to Forbes. Wow. That is worrisome. And also in 2021, Afghanistan, to become the world's worst humanitarian crisis, as nearly 23 million people faced acute hunger over winter, according to the World Food Program. That is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And then also in 2021, Sudan's military took control of the country, dissolving the power-sharing government and declaring a state of emergency. Not good. Anyway, before we move on to the births and deaths, audience, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most? Anything that you would like a little bit more elaboration on? You have any questions? Is there anything you would like to add yourself? Anything you saw, between all the, highlighted ones, any of the white sections here that you saw that I didn't say anything on? Start a dialogue in the comment section. Moving on in the bursts, who was born on this date in the year 1102. William Clito, Count of Flanders, from 1127 to 28, born in Rouen, France, died in 1128. Well, dang. So they were only like in their mid 20s, became a Count of Flanders for about a year, and then died. Wow. Because he was only 26 years old when he died. Wow, that's young. Wow. Heish. And we have William Grenville in 1759, the first Baron Grenville, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Whig Party, 1806-7, born in Walton Underwood, Buckinghamshire, England, dying in 1834. We got Georges Bizet, 1838, French composer, Carmen, born in Paris, France, dying in 1875. Carmen is a play, it's a classic that I have got to see one of these days. I have got to. We got Alexander Gretchenov, Russian U.S. romantic composer, born in Moscow, Russia in 1864, then later dying in 1956. So he was like in his late 70s, early 80s, 90s, 91. Wow, that's a good life right there. Well, a long life at least. Got Pablo Picasso, 1881. See, that's a lot of things like people get confused. Even I do. But Picasso is a lot more recent. He wasn't one of those like Renaissance painters or anything like Michelangelo or Leonardo or Donatello or Master Shredder. But no. Like they even made there's a line about him in the movie Titanic. Somebody was taking Picasso paintings. He's like, oh, nobody knows who the hell he is. Whatever. Anyway, he was born here in 1881. He's a Spanish painter. The Three Dancers, Guernica, to name a few, and a sculptor who co-founded the Cubist movement. He was born in Magala, Dulacia, Spain. So yeah, so by the time of Titanic in 1912, I believe, he would have been 29 years old. So, yeah, about halfway through his life. Like midlife is around what, 30, 40 years old? Midlife crisis. Anyway, got Richard E. Byard, 1888, a U.S. aviator and polar explorer. He was the first to reach both the North and South Pole by air, but this is a disputed thing. Born in Winchester, Virginia, then dying in 1957. We have Denny Schutt here, 1904, U.S. golfer, British Open, 1933, PGA Championship, 1936 through 37, born in Cleveland, Ohio, dying in 1974. Then Primo Carnera, born on this date in 1906, was an Italian boxer, the world heavyweight champion in 1933 and 34, born in Sequoias, Italy. Klaus Barbie, not a good guy. Although my introduction to this Butcher of Lyon was from the movie Rat Race. He was born on this date in 1913. He was a German Gestapo chief, the Butcher of Lyon, born in Godesberg, German Empire, dying in 1991. He lived too long. He was a Nazi. Who else do we have here? Scrolling. We have Dave Cowens, born 1948. A U.S. NBA forward, 1970 through 80, 1982 through 83. Rookie of the Year, 8-time All-Star, Boston Celtics, and Milwaukee Bucks. He was also a coach from 1970 through 79, 96 through 2001 for the Boston and Charlotte Hornets, respectively, I believe. Born in Newport, Kentucky. 74 years old today. We got Mike Irizine, born on this date in 1954. A U.S. ice hockey player, Olympic gold medal in 1980, born in Winthrop, Massachusetts. And let's see here, who else do we have? Samantha Bee, 1969, a Canadian-U.S. comedian, actress, and television host, born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Samantha Bee, why does that name sound so familiar? I've heard her name before somewhere. I don't know. Who else was born on this date? Katy Perry, born in 1984, a U.S. pop singer, I Kissed a Girl, Teenage Dream, and Firework, and also a TV personality, American Idol, in 2018 through present, born in Santa Barbara, California. Well, that explains why she is the way she is. We got Ciara, Cialis, I guess, I don't know. 1985, a U.S. singer and songwriter, Ciara, the Evolution, and model, born in Austin, Texas. Tejas. Moving on to the deaths, 79, we lost Gaius Plinius Secundus, or Pliny the Elder, a Roman admiral and writer, died during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Approximate date, the month of eruption is disputed. If you've been watching the show for the past week or so, somewhat regularly, you would have seen that we've been talking about Pompeii off and on since August, because as of 2018, it's believed that the eruption was closer to this time of the year, not back then. So, anyway, we have Geoffrey Chaucer, died on this date in 1400. Birth is unknown. He was an English poet and author of the Canterbury Tales, dying at the age of 56 or 57. So never mind, the birth is known. It's just a simple arithmetic to figure out the year. So what, 1343? Yeah, right there. If I can do it in my head, anybody can, because I'm an idiot. We have George II, died on this date in 1760. King of Great Britain and Ireland, Elector of Hanover, died at the age of 76. Well, that explains why George III, King George III became king today, because the previous king died. We got Henry Knox, died on this date in 1806. He was an American general, Continental Army, and later the United States Army. He was also the first U.S. Secretary of War from 1785 through 94. Died at the age of 56 after having swallowed a chicken bone which lodged in his throat and caused a fatal infection. Ugh. That must have been painful and agonizing and not fun in any way. This is why I don't eat anything off the bone, you know? Like, no. Albert Anastasia, we spoke about this guy earlier. He was an Italian U.S. mobster and crime boss, Murder Inc., murdered at the age of 55 on this date in 1957, and he was born in 1902. We got Abebe Bikila, 1973, an Ethiopian distance athlete, Olympic gold marathon 1960 world record, barefoot. That's incredible. 64 world record, Africa's first world record breaking athlete in any sport. Died of a brain hemorrhage at 41. That is unfitting. That's just awful. He did not deserve that. Like, anyway, he was born in 1932. I'm sad. Anybody who can run a marathon barefoot, deserves mad respect. Anyway, we have Roger Miller, 1992, a U.S. country singer-songwriter, king of the road, and dang me. Died at the age of 56. He was born in 1936. Got Bobby Riggs, 1995, a U.S. tennis player, the Battle of the Sexes, U.S. Open, 1939 and 41, died of prostate cancer at the age of 77, was born in 1918. We got Payne Stewart, died on the state in 1999. He was a U.S. golfer, U.S. Open 1991, 99, PGA 1989, died in a plane crash at the age of 42. He was born in 1957. That sucks. And we got Richard Harris, died in 2002, just 20 years ago on the dot here. He was an Irish actor, A Man Called Horse, This Sporting Life, and a singer, MacArthur Park, died of Hodgkin's disease at the age of 72. What is Hodgkin's disease? Let's take a look at that here. Hodgkin's lymphoma, and these are words that I recognize a lot from commercials, so you might know this already. It is a type of cancer that affects the lymphatic system, which is part of the body's germ-fighting immune system. In Hodgkin's lymphoma, white blood cells called lymphocytes grow out of control, causing swollen lymph nodes and growth throughout the body. So that's a painful death. So that's not fun. And Bill Sharman died on the state in 2013. He was a U.S. Basketball Hall of Fame guard, 8-time NBA All-Star, 4-time NBA championship for the Boston Celtics. He was also a coach for the NBA championship 1972 Lakers. Yeah. Died from stroke complication at 87. He was born in 1926. Wow. So. And I'm just going to say that'll conclude the show for today. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, which includes but is not limited to all things Omni Coalition. The show, the live stream is actually on my personal channel, AO Xander, but then the Omni Coalition has its own YouTube, a BitChute, and a Rumble. So go give those a look-see. And anyway, for your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time. For all of you and all of us, I am Aoxander, and I want to thank you again, Mr. Mo, for watching. I appreciate your view and the comments. Anyway, until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Come on. Where'd you go? Get over here.